Elfers, I'm the producer. Ryan, come on down! Thank you, everybody, for being here. From the bottom of my heart, everybody in this audience, thank you so much for coming out tonight.
Yeah, just wanted to thank Dances with Films. I mean, yeah, it's just a great venue to play at. I mean, it sounds great, looks great, so...
Free to step center.
Yeah. Are we the only ones coming down? There's a lot of people here that helps make the film. I mean...
You could bring a couple people down.
Wolf, our cinematographer. Will Sexton made his way all the way out. He was there every day. Kevin James Barry was there every day. Rachel Wagner. Obviously, all of our amazing cast. Augie Duke, Breon Davis. Haven, can you come on down, sweetie? Haven, you did just such an amazing job. You want to say anything? Just say hey. Just say hi.
Thank you guys for all being here.
All right, so if you could just pass down the mic real quick, you could say who you are and what you did on this film, please.
Hi, I'm John Michael Elfers. I produced the movie.
I'm Ryan Stevens Harris. I wrote and directed the movie.
Hi, my name is Haven Harris, and I played Emma in the movie.
Should we get Wolf down here? Wolf, wherever you are. Wolf, the cinematographer, he was there every day.
Yeah, I do have some questions for you, Wolf.
Yeah. Is Wolf
If you're
gone? Is he just at the bar drinking? Okay. Well, then it's just John and I. So, yeah.
All right, so really, I mean, the aesthetic in this film was really unique, fantastic, and I'd really like to talk some about the technical aspects of this. I hear that the visual effects in this were mostly or all practical effects. So tell me about that. How did you go about
Yeah, there's
creating
almost,
this and that choice to
I
make
think there's 800 visual effects shots in the movie, and I'm not exaggerating. And we only had, I mean, all the visual effects were just very simple comps, and John and I are both...
Practical elements.
Yeah, practical elements. We're both huge fans of just in-camera material. All the Ian, I know Ian Hunter is here, which is awesome.
Gosh, Ian, can you just stand up?
Yeah.
This guy's won Academy Awards for visual effects, and he advised us on shooting images to start out.
Yeah, while we were shooting in my one-car garage, we were shooting the Night Forest scene, building out all of the landscapes, and so we made it big by keeping it really small. We shot a lot of miniature material to make the wide shots feel very big. We shot all of the night skies using cloud tank material. Obviously, Morgana, who plays the Teeth character, we had just awesome stuff. So she would come out and perform, and then she puppeteered the teeth the entire time. So those were all a practical element. We just treated it like ADR almost, you know. So yeah, and then we would John and I would essentially build these sets. And then Haven would come out on the weekends, and it was like we built this small little playground for her every week to come out and have a good time in. So, yeah.
What was your favorite visual effect to shoot?
There's a lot, but I just mentioned the teeth effect. I mean, when that came alive, it was terrific because it was so many things removed. One of my favorite things is Emily Meister's sequence. Emily, wherever you are,
There she is.
Yeah, the three faces scene, the three faces in the lair, just because we had to shoot her very early on. One of the first things we shot her in this milk bath with her face emerging, saying these lines. We had to shoot each performance separately, then they had to be cut together, projected on these monitors with the frames. Then, obviously, when you're assembling everything together, you have the animation, and so it was just a real high-wire balancing act. But when that came together, that was probably the high watermark for me, just seeing that come alive, the visual effect, just because there were so many different elements that we had to shoot.
For me, it was the weather tower sequence, because it just looked so big in the end with the lightning strikes and the cloud tank footage and everything, yeah.
And making it rain.
Making it rain.
Yeah.
And let's talk also about the sound and the lighting. Tell me about those choices that you made to do that. Is your sound person here? Or?
I cut all the sound.
You did it yourself? Fantastic.
I wanted Darren to be here. Darren's a close friend of mine. He's the mixer. We spent a lot of time mixing it. But yeah, sound's just very close to my heart. And originally the script had very little dialogue. There was only like 2 or 3 lines in it. Then obviously the parents sequence came in. It gave it so much heart, and it's how it is today. But that's still kind of the echoes of that, you know, where the sound, just making it an experience that could just play almost silently was one of the goals, at least with the sound. So making the atmospheres feel as big as or a music track, you know. So it isn't like we need constant music. So drones and the atmospheres and those can all just play, and it can just be its own thing. So yeah.
Great.
It's cool that you picked that out. I mean, the cinematography. Here's Wolf.
There he is!
Tell us about the lighting in those choices, how you work together to create these choices.
I know. Introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Basically, the lighting, the scenes, the atmosphere is all decided, you know, on what color tones, how the feeling was going to be. As you can see, some of the darker scenes, you know, it's shafting of lights and a lot of shadowing. But then in the colorful moments of the movie, when it's the family, there's brightness, you know, happiness to it. So, but it's interesting.
And also, we didn't want it to feel like 2 separate movies. So, like, the parents sequence needed to have the same kind of dream vibe as the fantasy elements. A lot of people, when we were even starting to shoot the parent stuff, was like, okay, are you going to make it totally different? And it was important that Wolf and I made it feel the same way. So to still have this kind of dreamlike, hopefully some kind of, again, just to make it feel like an experience, but almost like a trance-like kind of vibe. But not to get seduced by the idea, okay, we'll make the parents like very gritty or this, that, or the other thing. So we did always try to bring a surreal or a hyper-real tone or element to each of the parent scenes. So
Yeah, you were inside my nightmares in some of those dreams for sure. I'd love to hear from your young actress here on this next question. I'm going to open it up to the audience right after this, so get your questions ready. But I mean, this was a pretty heavy, dark film. How was it for you to shoot this? Was it fun? Was it scary? What was it like?
Well, the first day was a little scary because I had no idea who anyone is. But then when you get to know the crew, like, it's basically like you've known them your whole life and it becomes your new family.
Oh, that's sweet. All right, so let's open it up to the audience for questions now. And forgive me, it's a little bit bright. It's hard to see your hands, but raise your hand and I'll call on you. I know we have, there's one right up here up front. Go ahead, yell it out.
What was the most out of left field practical effect, like thing that worked for a practical effect that you wouldn't have expected?
Oh wow.
Does that make sense?
So the question is, what was the sort of out of left field most, how would you say, just like how she said it?
well, I don't know. The inflating the teeth was, so just at the 11th hour, pulling the teeth out, that we weren't sure whether or not we'd be able to accomplish without heavy reshoots. But the most difficult practical effects, I don't know. We had a practical effects almost just every day because it was just, that's how it was built. I certainly know the shots that took the longest, if that's a question. I mean, we had the rotting fruit shot. Literally was the character passing in front, you know, the shadow goes over it, and then boom, we lock the camera off and then run the camera for 4 months.
Yeah.
Seriously, 4 months.
In a shed, shooting this fruit rotting.
And then all the lights were burning out, so John would text me and be like, the light burned out again. I had to swap the bulb. And it's like, oh my God. So we would check in on it, and yeah, but that's probably the shot at least that took the longest. Yeah, there was a 4-month shot in there. So people ask how long the movie took to shoot, and I'm like, well, we had one shot that took 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I think I saw one in the middle up here. Yeah, go ahead.
could you talk about your decision to use 35 millimeter, which is a tough thing to do on a budget?
Yeah.
And
So-
also what your influences, in that, I can sort of see a history of surrealism. I'm just interested what your influences were in this movie.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
the
think
question is, sorry, just for the camera. The question is about the choice to shoot this on 35 millimeter, and also what were some of the inspirations behind?
Well, I think we all have an answer for that because we're all just big film lovers. So yeah, we were all like, or at least John and I were the last class at SC to shoot film, and so we've always had a real love for it. And I originally came out of school as like a cinematographer, and I kind of feel like digital took away a lot of the magic for me. So for 35, especially, I feel like when we get ready for a shot, just one specific shot, first everybody's ultra focused, but then it's like you're packing the Canon because you don't know what's going to come out the other side. So for instance, like you'll add extra steam, you'll wet down the set, you'll do all these little things, whereas when you have a picture up on a digital camera, it's just go, 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 and then reset very quickly. And you're not really putting the nuance into it. John's assembled a fleet of 35 cameras also, so we really, I kind of describe the film as like a, cinematographer's paradise, because we're doing all these things, but to me, we shot the end, that was all hand crank, like,
When she's ascending, it's on
Yeah.
hand crank camera for
there's
20s.
all these tilt shift lens baby things. I don't want to talk too much because there's almost too much to talk about when it comes to the cinematography. But cinematography, especially, is a real, again, like a soft spot in my heart. I know these guys too, and so it's like to shoot it digitally. I don't know if we would have been able to capture some of that magic, and also to make it feel like it's this hand-built thing versus, something that seems like, a lot of Apple commercials now just seem so clean that they're almost, born out of a computer or something. So I'm going to say less.
No, I think he covered most of it. One of our dreams coming out of film school is to shoot features on 35 millimeter, and so as a company, we put together a fleet of 35 millimeter cameras, and we had some incredible people that came to back us up. Ken Luxmondi of FilmWorks hooked us up with scanning that made the whole thing possible. I trained on the scanner and I actually scanned the negative myself so that we could keep the costs down and make our production schedule as long as possible to make the kind of film that we've always wanted to make that no one would give us the time or money to do. So that's all I'm going to say.
Well, my final answer is it was all worth it because it's very rewarding when you see the results of, all the hard work, the techniques, and the problems that you face when you're doing some of these complicated shots. But all in all, I'm really proud of the movie, and congratulations, Ryan.
I think we have time for one more very quick question. All right, up front here, please.
How long did it take from ideation all the way through to like production, and then to today? What did that look like? And then, did you get to keep the rhino stuffed animal?
So the question is, how long was the whole process?
Did we get to keep the rhino stuffed animal?
Yeah.
Of course we did, because I'm a stuffed animal collector.
Which is true. Yeah. We have the stuffed rhino animal. We also have the big rhino head. So yeah, the thing was as big as a car. So yeah, which was super cool. Rachel Wagner is just incredible. That piece just really read on camera. But the first part of the question, how long it took. Again, the film was kind of piecemealed. So we had started shooting, then we had to have big hiatuses in between to go back and do work to raise more money and to keep shooting. So it was a real labor of love. Haven, how old were you when we started shooting?
5,
And how old are you now?
9. That's a big time difference.
So there is a cut in the movie where she literally goes backwards in age quite a few years. But yeah. So.
All right, and with that, thank you so much for coming out. I know you have more questions for them, but we have another house coming in, so please head on out, and they'll meet you outside. Talk, don't come down here.
Thank you.